Advanced liver cancer. Lily is determined to create a film celebrating her idealized first love. She even asked me to play the leading man. I pleaded with her. Lily, cut it out. Don't be so harsh. Don't let everyone realize I'm just Ethan Lee's replacement. But she was adamant, pushing me into the role with an iron grip. 5 months down the line, at the premiere of the movie Moonbeam, Lily was quizzed about her favorite scene. Reflecting back, she said, "Honestly, Ryan's tender look reminds me a bit of Ethan's." Her words almost made me chuckle through my tears. You should remember it well, because my eyes felt so unfamiliar and cold. That was the last time I loved you, Lily. Let's split. Once a 3-time Best Actor honoree, Ethan is dying. Lily Chen decided to craft a documentary about him, capturing his brilliant and dazzling life as his final gift. Among countless actors, Lily couldn't find anyone who matched Ethan's radiance and nobility, so she turned to me. I used to be a minor actor, later forced out of the industry because I resembled Ethan in looks and demeanor, thanks to my wife, Lily. Ethan, didn't you always dream of making it big in showbiz? Now I'm offering you this shot. Lily tossed the script into my hands, looking down as if granting me a favor. She always treated me that way, cold, haughty, dismissive, even though she was the one who proposed. Yet she saw me as a barrier between her and Ethan's love. Still, I agreed. I wanted to understand what made this Ethan, dubbed the moonbeam among mortals by fans, so special that Lily remembered him for years. Accepting the role of Ethan in Moonbeam immediately stirred up a storm online. Many couldn't grasp why a retired unknown actor would be cast as Ethan, a 3-time Best Actor winner. They doubted I could capture such a profound and charismatic character. Some even dug into my past, uncovering my days as a background actor in the industry 5 years prior. Especially why I left. Back then, I was a background actor in Beijing. It was tough, but directors praised me. One director once said, "Even with just a single shot, you bring the character to life. You're a promising talent." He believed I'd find my place in the vast entertainment world eventually. But I never got my big break. Suddenly, Lily appeared, signing a 10-year contract with me. She was the CEO of the largest film company, and all her artists were big names. When she handed me a thick stack of contracts, I was thrilled, thinking someone had finally recognized my hidden potential. But I was let down. Lily didn't genuinely believe in me. She just didn't want someone who resembled Ethan and had similar acting skills to stay active in the industry. She wanted to eliminate any threat to Ethan. Even if that threat never surfaced, she wanted to nip it in the bud. So, within less than 2 years at Lily Starworks, all my news turned negative. Being a diva, disrespecting seniors, humiliating extras. Though none were serious, it destroyed my remaining public support. At the time, I didn't realize Lily orchestrated everything. I was still worried about explaining myself to my mentor when Lily approached me. "Ethan, it's cool if you can't stay in showbiz. You can stay by my side. I know you like me, and I like you too, Ethan. Let's get married." So, I left the entertainment world and became Lily's husband. A husband in name only, known to very few. My scandals surfaced, and there was backlash online against me playing Ethan. For a while, it caused quite a buzz. My name, Ryan, became more recognized than my years of struggling in the industry. Lily was furious. She printed out some online comments and threw them at me. "Ryan, you're useless. I gave you a chance and you blew it. Useless." She didn't hesitate to curse me out. "I warn you. If you screw this up, I'll make you regret it." I bent down, picking up the scattered papers one by one. I looked at her coldly. "Lily, you know where these scandals came from because you were the one who set it all up to end my career." Lily's angry face darkened instantly. "Ryan, since you know my methods, you better behave. Otherwise, I'll make sure you become a pariah." Hated by everyone, I couldn't help but chuckle softly. "Lily, don't forget. Who needs who now? I can skip this movie and still live off you. You know, I don't care about others' opinions. Otherwise, I wouldn't have given up the chance to clear my name 3 years ago and willingly become Lily's man." The term living off a woman feels rough, but because I loved Lily, I accepted it all. Yet, some people never realize what's best for them. Lily and I hadn't met just 5 years ago. I knew her, liked her, much earlier than she realized. We were college classmates. She was the star in every crowd, always attracting attention wherever she went. So, she never noticed me amidst the sea of admirers. No matter how many times we crossed paths, her eyes never saw me. One time, Lily's scarf was swept away by the wind and landed at my feet. When I picked it up and handed it back, she smiled. "Thanks, classmate." "Anytime?" Just 5 words, but they lingered with me for a long time. When I tossed and turned at night, her smile haunted me. After graduation, I dove into acting, chasing my dream. A year later, she graduated, took over her family's business, and became the CEO of the largest entertainment company. Years down the road, when we met again, Lily had already forgotten me. When she saw me, there was a fleeting look of amazement and surprise in her eyes. But it passed quickly. "Ryan, I've seen your performance. It's good. Want to sign with Starworks?" I nodded because there was another dream I wanted to pursue. Later, scandals about me erupted one after another. As a minor actor without support, I couldn't sustain my presence in the industry. That day, I sat on the company's rooftop, feeling the cold wind, smoking one cigarette after another. Then, Lily opened the rooftop door and walked over against the wind. Her beautiful long hair fluttered as she took the half-burnt cigarette from my hand, took a light puff, and blew a perfect smoke ring. When the cigarette was out, she looked at me. "Ryan, do you like me?" Some folks think they hide their feelings well, not realizing they're already transparent. For a moment, I didn't know how to respond. The words tangled in my heart, got stuck in my throat. After a strange silence, Lily stood before me. Her gaze was intense and burning, and I saw deep affection in her eyes. She hooked her arm around my neck and kissed me. "Ryan, it's okay. If you can't stay in showbiz, you can stay by my side. I know you like me, and I like you too. Let's get married." At that moment, my mind went blank. The tender dream I'd chased for years was now standing in front of me, speaking in a gentle and seductive voice. She wanted to marry me. The wind stung my eyes a bit. I said, "All right, after many years, I finally caught my dream." When I got home, Lily was gone. In the brightly lit villa, there was only emptiness and silence, quiet enough to hear my heart beat. In the early days of our marriage, Lily and I were in love for a while. I made her lavish breakfasts every morning and picked out her outfits for outings. She praised my cooking and how I matched her clothes, then gave me a deep kiss before leaving. In the evenings, I'd sit on the couch waiting for her to come home. After her social events and drinking, I'd bring her a glass of honey water. She'd always wrap her arms around my neck, snuggling close, and say, "Ryan, it's so nice to have you." But now, in our once warm home, Lily hadn't been back for a long time. Since the day Ethan returned to the country, 3 months had passed. I never expected Lily to come back today. As soon as the door opened, Lily was already drunk, staggering. She kicked off her heels and hurried over to me. "Ryan, why? Why does Ethan have this illness?" Her cold hand touched my cheek. Her blurred eyes stared at my face for a long time before she softly spoke. "You two look so much alike. Why isn't it you who has to die?" Silence fell. My heart ached so much I couldn't breathe. After a tense moment, I pushed Lily away. "It's really a shame. Lily, I'll live well, and your beloved Ethan will suffer from the disease and die horribly." Maybe Lily cared too much about Ethan. Even though she was already dazed with drunkenness, she sobered up when she heard Ethan's name. She slapped me hard, tears filling her eyes. "Ryan, how can you be so cruel?" Lily spoke through choked sobs. The woman who was always strong was now crying. I never thought Lily and I would end up like this. 3 years of marriage, a period of love, ultimately leaving us with only resentment. I looked coldly at Lily. Her concern for Ethan filled me with unprecedented jealousy and anger. I approached her, becoming extremely harsh for the first time. "Lily, stop dreaming. You'll never be with Ethan. He's dying. People with liver cancer become emaciated and unrecognizable. Horribly. Soon, you'll only be able to visit him in the cemetery." Lily's expression darkened bit by bit. Bang! A sharp pain shot through my head, followed by a wet sensation spreading from the top down. It tasted incredibly metallic and sweet. Lily looked at the ashtray in her hand in shock, the red blood staining it. It was blood from my head. Lily had hit me with the ashtray from the coffee table. She frantically dropped the ashtray, clutching my sleeve desperately. At that moment, her drunkenness faded and she became very sober. "Ryan, are you okay? I didn't mean to. Are you okay? I didn't mean to." She started to cry. "I didn't mean to. You shouldn't have pushed me about Ethan's life and death." Hot blood flowed to my eyelids, hanging on my lashes, making my eyes tremble. I didn't say anything. I had nothing to say. The greatest sorrow is when the heart dies. At that moment, I truly understood. In the hospital, the nurse carefully bandaged my wound, noticing my tightly pressed lips. She said, "If it hurts, just say it. Don't hold it in." I shook my head slightly, sitting quietly. The pain in my heart couldn't be soothed by any medicine. Ever since I realized that in Lily's heart, there was only Ethan, and I was just a substitute. She got through manipulative means. My heart had become numb, sitting on the hospital bed, looking at the ink-like night outside the window. I couldn't help but feel sorrow. Unconsciously, I thought of my past days. My father died early, and my mother, suffering from illness, left me when I was 15, unable to escape the torment of disease. As she lay dying, she tightly held my hand, her eyes lifeless. "Ryan, living is too painful. Mom can't hold on anymore. Live well. Don't blame Mom for being cruel and leaving you." After graduating from college, I went to Beijing to be a background actor. No matter the role, I always treated it with utmost sincerity. Even without a single line, just a back view, even a fleeting shot, nothing stopped my passion for acting. That's how I worked for 3 years. Though it was hard, I enjoyed it. Every different role allowed me to experience different lives. At that time, the boxed lunches tasted pretty good. Later, Lily found me. I thought my hardships were over, but I fell into an unfathomable abyss. It destroyed my love and my career. I didn't notice when Lily entered the ward. It wasn't until the night breeze at the window made me feel cold that I closed the window and turned around. Lily was standing behind me, holding my medical report. She trembled as she handed me the report, her voice shaky. "Ryan, oh, positive blood." I frowned, not understanding Lily's expression. Whether it was surprise or shock, I took the medical report. It detailed my condition. Mild concussion, nothing serious, just needed a few days of rest. So I didn't get why Lily looked so shocked. I ignored her and quietly lay back on the bed. I don't know why. That night, Lily stayed quietly by my bedside, not sleeping all night. A mild concussion isn't a big deal. But Lily surprisingly took it seriously. Ignoring my protests, she insisted the doctor conduct a comprehensive examination on me. In the following days, she acted unusually gentle towards me. "Ryan, the doctor said you need to eat more fruits. I've already peeled an apple for you. Eat it." Her eager gaze showed no pretense. For a moment, I thought we had returned to the early days of our marriage. Back then, Lily's gaze was genuine. But ever since Ethan returned, that look was gone. Soon, I discovered the reason behind Lily's sudden change. That day, Lily went out with the doctor and returned absent-mindedly 2 hours later. She sat by my bed in silence for a long time. Her eyes were heavy with sorrow. "Ethan's illness is flaring up more frequently. He doesn't have much time left." I raised an eyebrow, indifferent. Ethan had liver cancer but couldn't find a suitable donor, leading to severe deterioration. He didn't have much time left. Everyone knew this. There were even die-hard fans who tried to donate their own livers to save Ethan, but none matched. It seemed his fate was destined for a young and tragic death, forever remembered as the White Moonlight. Lily was silent for a moment again. "Ryan, your liver is a match for Ethan's." It felt like a bomb exploded in my head, leaving me in chaos. After a moment, I regained my senses. No more words were needed. I understood her meaning. I stared at Lily's beautiful face for a long time, then spoke calmly. "So, Lily, the past few days weren't about giving me a full checkup, but about matching my liver to see if it could be transplanted to Ethan." At that moment, jealousy and sorrow intertwined in my heart, and I couldn't help but shed tears. It was the first time I cried in front of Lily, and it would be the last time. Lily looked up at me but couldn't meet my gaze. "Ryan, it's just a liver donation. It won't have much impact on you, but without your liver, Ethan will die. I promise you, if you're willing to donate, I'll be wholeheartedly devoted to you and never have any contact with Ethan again." I placed my hand over my liver. For some reason, I felt a faint pain there, and my heart ached too. I looked into Lily's eyes. "Lily, a liver transplant carries risks. I might die too. Have you thought it through?" Lily hesitated, pressing her lips together in silence for a long time, but eventually nodded. The breath I had been holding finally let out. She knew. She knew everything. Yet she still chose to risk my life to save another man. Then I had nothing more to worry about. I shook my head. "No, I'm not willing, Lily. I will never donate my liver to Ethan. Give up on this idea." I refused to donate my liver to Ethan. To my surprise, Lily didn't push the issue. Instead, she quickly moved forward with the film's opening ceremony and began shooting. Perhaps seeing my confusion, Lily gave a bitter smile. "The liver is yours if you don't want to. No one can force you, Ryan. You're my husband. I won't force you to do anything you don't want to do. As for Ethan, maybe it's true what they say online. He's a star meant to stay in the sky, not on Earth for long." Lily handed me the script and continued. "Ryan, I hope you can use all your skills to perfectly portray Ethan." She paused, her voice choking a bit. "You've already read the script. Ethan truly was a very, very good person. She wasn't wrong about that. From the script, I learned that Ethan was indeed a good person. He certainly lived up to the title of the moonbeam among mortals. Ethan was born into an ordinary family and originally had a happy life. But one day, his younger brother was kidnapped by traffickers, shattering their happy family. While searching for his younger son, his father had an accident and died on the spot. His mother, devastated by the loss of her younger son and husband, had a mental breakdown and committed suicide by poisoning herself. This left 10-year-old Ethan alone and destitute. Ethan, who lost his entire family, grew up on the kindness of others, enduring many hardships to eventually become a 3-time Best Actor winner. Despite his fame and success, Ethan never gave up searching for his lost brother. He founded the Return Home Foundation, dedicated to reuniting lost children with their families. He once said, "I hope that one day I can find my long-lost brother among these children. And I also hope that those who have lost their families like my brother can one day reunite with their loved ones. I do what I can, hoping everyone can be reunited with their family." Many people shed tears when he said this. Every time, every single time, when attending events, Ethan would bring a torn and blurry photo of a child, choking up as he pleaded for anyone with information to come forward. He even said that if he found his brother, he would donate all his wealth to charity. But despite struggling in the entertainment industry for over a decade, there was no news of his brother. And now he himself had liver cancer and didn't have long to live. It was indeed tragic, making people sigh and feel a deep sense of pity. Honestly, being given the role of such a noble character made me feel deeply honored. I looked at Lily, ignoring the tears in her eyes. "Don't worry. Portraying every role well is a basic quality of an actor, and I am a professional actor." The shooting progressed unusually smoothly. However, Lily came every day to personally oversee the production. She would sit by the camera, carefully watching every take of mine. Occasionally, I would hear the crew discussing Lily and Ethan's love story in private. Oh my god, I've always heard about Miss Chen and Emperor Li's story, but I never thought it was true. A love between life and death. It's so touching, isn't it? It's just a pity that Emperor Li doesn't have much time left. Ah, the sweet moments in the midst of heartbreak. But I'm curious, why didn't they get together sooner? Right, the sweet moments in the midst of heartbreak. But I'm curious, why didn't they get together sooner? Right, Ryan, since Miss Chen handpicked you, do you know any inside story? They didn't know I was Lily's legitimate husband, so they didn't shy away from talking to me and even wanted to discuss it. I closed the script and smiled. I don't really know. In truth, I did know. Although Ethan made his mark through talent and became an emperor through skill, a large portion of his fans were girlfriend fans who treated him like a boyfriend. He feared that being in a relationship would lose him fans and hinder his career. So he never broke through the ambiguous relationship with Lily. Once, when a drunk Lily hugged me, she called out Ethan's name. Ethan, I won't be a hindrance to your career if you don't want to be with me. I'll wait for you until you're willing. Ethan, I'm willing to do anything for you, including marrying someone else. Ethan, anything you want, I'll give you. From the first time you saved me, I've only liked you. This scene was also in the script. The lonely Ethan couldn't afford school and wandered around society. A young and beautiful Lily was harassed by a drunk hooligan, and it was Ethan who helped her, even beating the hooligan until his head was bleeding. He held her hand and ran wildly through countless streets and alleys, finally stopping by the sea, bathed in the sunset glow. The boy and the girl smiled at each other, leaving an indelible mark in each other's hearts. Later, all of Ethan's school expenses were sponsored by the Chen family, and Lily provided many resources, both overtly and covertly, to help him become a 3-time emperor. Seeing that I wasn't interested in discussing Lily and Ethan's love, they wisely changed the topic. Ryan, your acting is really good. When the movie is released, you're sure to become famous. Yeah, speaking of which, you really resemble Emperor Li with similar looks and temperament, and your acting is equally good. If you had become famous earlier, maybe some of his 3 awards would have gone to you. Lily walked over and sat beside me, causing the 2 extras to hurriedly leave. Lily handed me a bottle of water. Ryan, if one day you can't be an actor anymore, what would you choose to do? A sudden question made me turn to look at her. Lily, haven't you known the answer for a long time? 3 years ago, when she destroyed my acting dream, she knew my choice. Lily was momentarily shocked. So you would still stay by my side, right? But I coldly replied, no, I wouldn't. Lily, let's find a time to get divorced. I threw the script open to the part where Lily and Ethan first met into her lap. Hold on to your love story. Stop disgusting me. I never expected Lily to once again use despicable means to frame me. When the film was halfway through shooting, large-scale leaks of recordings and documents showing my refusal to donate my liver to Ethan began spreading online. The recordings were edited and clipped, resulting in this. No, I'm not willing. I will never donate my liver to Ethan. Give up on this. Ethan will be tormented by illness and will die horribly. People with liver cancer die emaciated and unrecognizable. Horribly. I will live well. This time, I faced unprecedented online harassment. Not only did it force the film's shooting to be suspended, but some crazy fans even tracked my whereabouts and threw rotten eggs at me on the street. I had no choice but to stay behind closed doors. And the film's shooting came to a halt. Now, Lily was sitting on the soft sofa in front of me, leisurely drinking coffee. She gently rubbed the expensive jade bracelet on her wrist, her tone as if discussing a trivial matter. Ryan, now that things have escalated, do you know what you need to do? She looked up at me with a slight smile on her lips. If you don't agree, the consequences might be unbearable. On the coffee table was the contract for the film, Moonbeam. It clearly stated that if filming couldn't be completed due to reasons caused by Party B, a breach of contract fee of $50 million was to be paid. Yes, I didn't have $50 million, and I couldn't afford such a huge penalty. I looked at Lily seriously. You edited and released the recording online and stirred up public opinion just to force me to donate my liver to Ethan. Lily, you really are devoted to Ethan. Even using such despicable means, Lily's face turned noticeably pale. Ryan, you forced me. If you had agreed from the start, I wouldn't have treated you this way. Ethan doesn't have much time left. I couldn't wait to slowly persuade you. Ryan, I still mean what I said before. As long as you save Ethan, I will be wholeheartedly with you. Even if you have any after effects, I will take good care of you. You are my husband, and you don't have to do anything to enjoy the best life. What more do you want? She paused, placing a tablet with the trending searches in front of me. Look, now you're infamous. If I don't help clarify things, you will never be able to act again and will be a pariah. Ryan, you have no choice. I picked up the cold tablet, watching the continually updating insults, feeling my heart grow colder bit by bit. In the end, I agreed. All right, Lily, I'll do it, but I want to wait until after Moonbeam is released to have the surgery. You know, liver transplant surgery has risks. I might die. This might be my last work. Lily was silent. She seemed unwilling to wait any longer. I sneered. Lily, if you don't agree to my condition, then forget about getting my liver for Ethan. Eventually, Lily agreed to my request. After all, the film was more than halfway done. With day and night work, it could be finished within a month. Lily had the money and plenty of staff under her command. This wasn't difficult for her. I had to admit, Lily was very resourceful. The next day, she released a recording proving that the previous recording circulating online was maliciously edited. Of course, this new recording was also fake. With the help of her online influencers, public opinion turned around within a day. The trending topic became #feeling sorry for Ryan wrongly accused. I quickly returned to the set and resumed shooting. Lily continued to visit the set daily. However, her attitude changed. Previously, she demanded perfection in every take, but now she only cared about speed. With such intense shooting, as she wished, the filming was completed and edited within a month. The rough cut of the film was done. To accommodate Ethan, Lily decided to take me to the hospital to watch it with him. In the private hospital's exclusive ward, Ethan lay on the bed, his breath weak and tubes attached to his body. When he saw Lily, his eyes moved slightly, and he weakly raised his hand. Lily, you're here. Lily quickly stepped forward and held his hand. Don't move, just lie down and rest. It was then that Ethan noticed me. I could tell he was surprised to see me. It's rare to find someone who looks so much like oneself. He smiled at me. Ryan, nice to meet you. Honestly, I had a certain amount of genuine admiration for Ethan. A few years ago, when I was still a background actor in Beijing, I regarded him as my idol. I also fantasized about one day sharing the screen with him. But things didn't go as planned, and we always missed each other. I bowed to Ethan. Mr. Lee, nice to meet you. After watching the rough cut, Ethan's eyes welled with tears. Good, very good, Lily. Thank you for fulfilling my lifelong dream. I never thought I would one day be the protagonist in a film. Lily also choked up. Ethan, you deserve it. Be strong. In a few days, Lily hesitated. Ethan, you'll get better. In the spacious ward, there were many staff members, but at that moment, I felt exceptionally lonely and pathetic. They were moved by the love between Lily and Ethan, while I, the legitimate husband, was just an outsider. After leaving the hospital, Lily pulled me aside. She seemed annoyed. Ryan, why do you still want a divorce? I've agreed to be with you wholeheartedly. What more do you want? I sneered. It seemed she had just received the court summons. Earlier, my request for a divorce was rejected by Lily, so I had to file for divorce. Lily, I've changed my mind. I want to add one more condition. If you want me to donate my liver to Ethan, you have to agree to divorce me. Lily lowered her head, lost in thought. I thought she would compromise for Ethan, but she took a deep breath and softly said, No, Ryan, I won't divorce you. She looked up at me, holding my hand tightly, speaking earnestly. Ryan, after this is over, let's start over and be together properly. Okay, Ryan, you have a place in my heart. Start over. How could we start over? Some things, once they happen, are irreparable, and no one can change that. I looked at Lily's face. She was as beautiful as she was at 18, but the innocence in her eyes had long been replaced by calculation. She was no longer the same person, and our long yet brief 3-year marriage was an accident. Not being on the same path meant we would part ways eventually. I wasn't sad. I only felt regret. Regret that the girl I cherished for so many years was no longer the same. Regret that the love I gave wholeheartedly was just an illusion. Regret that we never truly loved each other. I pulled my hand away from Lily's tight grip and firmly shook my head. No, Lily, my love for you died when you chose to hurt me over and over again for Ethan. At the Moonbeam premiere, I went on stage as the lead actor to give a speech. The densely written 2 pages were the speech Lily had personally written for me. She said, "Ryan, the filming has been exhausting. Leave everything else to me and just rest." Lily seemed to be trying to win me over. From the time we returned from the hospital to the week leading up to the premiere, she was with me almost every day. She even cooked a large meal for me herself. Seeing my surprised expression, her face, devoid of makeup, showed some nervousness as her hands unconsciously clenched her apron. We've been married for years, and I've never cooked for you before." "Ryan, I will be a good wife from now on." I didn't eat that meal. I threw it all into the trash. "It's useless, Lily. I won't be soft-hearted anymore." "Lily, divorce is the only topic we can discuss now." Lily held back her tears and turned upstairs. She still refused to face the divorce issue, I thought. Perhaps she wanted to use marriage and love to bind me, to make me willingly donate my liver to Ethan. What a pity. I doubted there was such a fool in the world. The dazzling flashlights pulled me back from my thoughts. I casually threw the 2 pages into a nearby trash can and strode onto the stage. It was the first time I had been surrounded by so many people and so many lights. I smiled and took the microphone. "First of all, thank you all for coming to the premiere of the film, Moonbeam. I am very honored to be part of this excellent film." After a brief speech, I paused. Regarding some rumors about me recently, I want to clarify a few things. Lily's face turned pale and she whispered angrily, "Ryan, don't say anything nonsensical. There's no need to mention things unrelated to the film." To promote the film, Lily had invited almost all the media. If anything happened, it would be difficult to control the situation, no matter how much money she had. But what I wanted was an uncontrollable situation, especially since this was a live broadcast. Ignoring Lily's angry expression, I played a video on the big screen. It was the conversation between Lily and me at home, where I was forced to agree to donate my liver to Ethan. Lily tried to rush to change the video, but she was surrounded by countless reporters and couldn't get free. A reporter shoved a microphone in Lily's face. "Oh, Miss Chen, according to the video, you and Ryan are married, right? So how do you explain your relationship with Mr. Lee?" "Miss Chen, was the rumor about Ryan refusing to donate his liver to Mr. Lee a tactic to force Ryan? The video mentions using such despicable methods again. Does this mean you've used similar tactics to frame Ryan before? Why would you treat your husband this way?" "Miss Chen, did Mr. Lee know about you forcing Ryan to donate his liver? Or was it a joint effort? If the surgery goes wrong and something happens to Ryan, will you be with Mr. Lee?" The overwhelming questions left Lily gasping for breath. It took the security team a while to separate her from the reporters. Lily strode onto the stage, glaring at me. "Ryan, you're playing this game with me." I laughed derisively. "Lily, you taught me this. I'm just treating you the way you treated me. She could record audio. I could record video. After being set up twice by her, how could I not be on guard? When I agreed to the deal with Lily, I had already set up hidden cameras, and this premiere was the perfect opportunity to reveal the truth. Lily was almost choking with rage, but had to swallow her anger in front of the media. "Ryan, you..." Things happened too suddenly. The huge crystal chandelier in the center of the stage suddenly fell, crashing straight toward me. Everyone held their breath. Some even quickly closed their eyes, not daring to witness the tragedy. My mind went blank, but I still pushed Lily, who was closest to me, out of the way first, before the pain overwhelmed me. I saw Lily's face, pale with shock. I seemed to hear her heart-wrenching scream, "Ryan!" But Ryan could only close his eyes in pain and despair. The Moonbeam premiere had been the hottest topic recently, maintaining its high profile for a week, but I had no time to care about public opinion. All I wanted was to stay outside Ryan's hospital room, closely watching the heart rate monitor, afraid that in a blink it would turn into a long, flat line. 3 days and nights. It had been 3 days and nights since Ryan was knocked unconscious by the chandelier. I had also been thinking for 3 days and nights. I couldn't understand why Ryan would risk his life to save me. He had clearly given up on me. Wanting a divorce, to leave me forever. I waited outside the ICU for 3 days, until Ethan's assistant came to find me. He said Ethan was having another episode, in so much pain that he nearly wanted to end his life. I had no choice but to leave Ryan's room and go to Ethan's. He was indeed in agony. The tubes were pulled out. His lips were pale, his eyes vacant. When he saw me, he called my name in pain. "Lily, I'm in so much pain. Lily, I'm scared. I'm scared of what will happen to you if I die." I poured him a glass of water and carefully helped him drink it. "Don't be afraid, Ethan. I will always be with you." After drinking the water, Ethan slowly calmed down. He held my hand tightly, his eyes filled with longing and hope. "Lily, when can I get the liver transplant? I'm in so much pain. I can't bear it anymore." I froze, involuntarily. I thought of Ryan lying in the ICU, his fate still uncertain. Ethan seemed to see through my hesitation. He leaned his weak body against mine. "Lily, you are my only family. You are the most important person to me. If even you won't help me, then there's no point in living." His eyes grew dimmer and dimmer. "From the first time I met you, I was attracted to you. I fantasized countless times about walking down the aisle with you. We would have a son and a daughter living a happy life. But before, I was unknown, unworthy of you. So I worked extra hard, just hoping to one day stand by your side. Unfortunately, the day came, but I got liver cancer. Lily, why does heaven play such cruel tricks, keeping lovers apart, for some reason?" Every word Ethan said made my heart ache. It seemed I really couldn't bear the pain of losing Ethan. I pressed my pale lips together. "Ethan, wait a bit longer. Ryan is still in critical condition, so we can't perform the surgery yet." Ethan slowly sat up straight, his eyes like a dead lake, his tone indifferent as if stating something inconsequential. "It's okay, Lily. You are Ryan's wife. You can choose to give up on him, and then we can immediately proceed with the liver transplant." He turned to look at me. "Lily, for me, you would be willing, right?" At that moment, I felt a chill down my spine. Only now did I understand that I didn't really know the man I had loved for so many years. What happened at the premiere I thought was an accident. I didn't expect my assistant to find something suspicious. She pulled me aside to a secluded place and whispered, "Miss Chen." After investigating, it was found that the screws holding the crystal chandelier were loose, causing it to fall. But the day before the incident, I saw Mr. Lee's assistant sneaking around the site. He was acting very suspiciously and had a ladder. My assistant said a lot, making my head buzz, thinking about Ethan's words. It was hard not to overthink. I took a deep breath. Investigate quietly and don't alarm anyone, including Ethan and his people. My assistant stared at me for a moment, then nodded. "Miss Chen, there are some things I really shouldn't say, but at this point I can't keep quiet. All these years, everyone has seen how much you've done for Mr. Lee, but have you ever noticed what Ryan has done for you?" I realized I hadn't really looked at Ryan. At first, a director recommended him to me, saying he was a great prospect and would eventually have a place in this flashy entertainment industry. So I went to Beijing. He was indeed remarkable, even playing a ragged beggar with a dirty face. His noble spirit shone through. especially those dark and bright eyes, surpassing all the actors I had seen. But when I saw Ryan for the first time, I didn't think of promoting him, but of stopping him from rising because he looked so much like Ethan, and his acting was even more vivid and natural. Having two people who looked too similar in the entertainment industry wasn't good. I couldn't let him become Ethan's substitute. I wanted Ethan to be unique. So, Ryan's existence was like a firework that needed to be extinguished before it could fully ignite. I had him sign a 10-year contract with my company, with terms that seemed to benefit him but were actually traps I set. During our occasional interactions over those 2 years, I found that Ryan was indeed a good person. He was kind and polite, worked seriously and responsibly, and often stayed up late studying scripts, making every small role he played memorable. More than once, directors praised him as a good actor. The more they praised him, the greater my sense of crisis became. So I acted. Those edited videos and recordings quickly put Ryan in the pillar of shame. With my manipulations, all the scripts and activities Ryan had accepted were canceled. He was very disappointed, standing on the rooftop with the cold wind blowing. I don't know why. At that moment, I saw Ethan's shadow from years ago. An idea arose in my mind. Ethan wouldn't be with me because of his career. But what about Ryan? Who looked like him? He could become his substitute. Staying by my side, he could alleviate my longing for Ethan and eliminate Ryan's impact on Ethan's career. Two birds with one stone. So I proposed marriage to Ryan. I knew he would agree because when he looked at me, his eyes were full of passion and sincerity. He liked me, I knew that. In the 3 years of marriage, Ryan was an absolutely perfect husband. And in that marriage, I felt cherished and loved. I never got that feeling from Ethan, but I was too stupid. I thought Ryan was just a substitute. My assistant is very efficient and reliable. In just 3 days, she got to the bottom of it. It was indeed Ethan's assistant who did it. Caught red-handed, there was no way to deny it. The assistant frantically begged me not to call the police. Miss Chen, it was all Mr. Lee's doing. I accidentally overheard your conversation with Ryan, and I knew you didn't want to divorce him. Ryan also said that if you didn't divorce, he wouldn't donate his liver. I told Mr. Lee about it, and he came up with this plan. Miss Chen, for Mr. Lee's sake, you can't report me. Otherwise, Mr. Lee would be implicated in hiring someone to kill, and he wouldn't be able to get away with it. Miss Chen, you love Mr. Lee so much. As long as the liver transplant is successful, you two can be together. Why bother with the process? Does it matter? Does it matter? Does it matter? Those 3 short words made me think of the moment Ryan pushed me away that day. It really does matter. But what should I do? Ethan and Ryan. How should I choose? My assistant saw my hesitation and sighed. She took out her phone and opened the photo album. Miss Chen, maybe these photos will help you decide. In the photos, there was Ethan with 2 other men. They looked familiar. I thought for a moment and then remembered. They were the 2 men who tried to harass me when they were drunk. And in the photos, Ethan was handing those 2 men a bag of money. No need to say more. Everything was clear. I went to the hospital. Ethan looked much better. His complexion was even a bit rosy. When he saw me, he happily asked me to sit down. Lily, you've decided, right? When are we doing the surgery? You know my body can't wait much longer. Ethan seemed certain I would choose him. I didn't respond to him. I just took out my phone and showed him the photos my assistant had sent me. Ethan's face instantly lost its last bit of color. What? What does this mean? I looked up at him. Ethan, don't you want to explain? Ethan looked panicked, but quickly calmed down. Oh, it must be a scene from some show that got photographed. Such a clumsy lie made me frown, but my heart was very calm. These 2 men are the ones who tried to harass me. So, from the beginning, you were lying to me, right? From the beginning, it was all Ethan's setup. He had been scouting for a target, and I, being beautiful and wealthy, was exactly what he needed. So, he teamed up with those 2 thugs to stage a hero saving the damsel act, making me fall for him. Then he climbed step by step on my shoulders, higher and higher until he reached the top. But the higher you climb, the more exposed you become. Those two thugs were his weak point, so Ethan had to keep bribing them with money. Ethan remained silent. After a while, he flew into a rage. He smashed the items on the bedside table, fruits, medicines, scattering them all over the floor. Lily, what's the point of questioning me now? So what if I lied to you? Haven't I been good enough to you all these years? Haven't I helped you make a lot of money? I owe you nothing. Ha, I get it. You've had a change of heart, and you can't bear to let Ryan die, so you're bringing up all these old matters to comfort yourself. Lily, you're despicable, disgusting. I had never seen such a crazed Ethan. In front of me, from the sunny boy to the gentle and kind emperor, he had always been kind and gentle. Now I saw the real Ethan. Hideous. My heart sank. Ethan's vile words hurt me more than the truth did, and they made the last bit of love I had for him vanish. Ethan, to save your life, you bribed your assistant to try to kill Ryan. Who is the despicable one? Ethan, at that moment, looked like a demon crawling up from hell, craving blood. His face was pale as paper, and his eyes glared at me with a fierce light as he pulled a sinister smile. It's all your fault, Lily. If you hadn't refused to divorce Ryan, I wouldn't have come up with such a plan. I had already given up on living, planning to drag out my last days. It was you who told me Ryan could give me a liver, that I could survive. You gave me hope, and now you want to cruelly take it away. Do you know how painful chemotherapy is? Do you know how terrifying it is to count your days? Do you know how scary it is to close your eyes, not knowing if you'll open them again? How could someone who has seen the light be willing to let go of the faint glimmer in the darkness? Lily, it's you who harmed Ryan, and it's you who harmed me. I was stunned. The cold wind blowing in from the window seeped into my bones. Cold. So cold it was killing me. In the end, the evidence of Ethan bribing his assistant to create an accident was handed over to the police. His assistant was arrested, and Ethan, suffering from a severe illness, was released on bail for medical treatment. However, Ethan's title of Moonbeam among mortals was ruthlessly torn down. Anonymous accounts dug up every detail of Ethan's past. He was indeed an orphan who grew up on the charity of others, but he was also a child with sticky fingers, frequently stealing. His charity foundation, Return Home, was exposed for money laundering. Even more shocking were revelations from insiders that Ethan's missing brother had actually been abandoned by him. Ethan had shown jealousy towards his brother multiple times and had even made threats to kill him. All of Ethan's good deeds were revealed as mere covers for his ugly heart. The film Moonbeam, starring Ryan, was pulled before it could be released. My company suffered heavy losses due to my relationship with Ethan. I too faced online harassment and police investigation. Those who manipulate public opinion will eventually be consumed by it. Ethan and I were no exception. I woke up 2 months later. It was just as winter arrived and everything had settled. The day I was discharged from the hospital, it started to snow. I suddenly remembered that the day I first met Ryan was also a snowy day. We looked into each other's eyes, but our expressions were different. Now, after everything, our gazes met again. His was calm and indifferent, while mine was filled with deep emotion. Ryan, I called his name. Thank you for saving me that day during the time you were unconscious. I thought a lot. It was my fault before. I wronged you. You gave up your dreams to be with me. You gave me your heart, and I trampled on it again and again. If possible, I hope you can give me a chance to make amends. I didn't dare to look into his clear eyes. My voice choked more and more as I spoke, but Ryan's indifference shattered my last bit of hope. We have no future together, and you will never have a chance to make amends. The moment the harm was done, it became a permanent scar. Lily, if you feel sorry for me, then agree to the divorce. Let's each live our own lives. From now on, stay away from me. Ryan's voice was so cold it pierced my heart. I could only stand helplessly in the distance. Cold snowflakes fell on my nose, gradually melting. I didn't even know if the drops on my face were melted snow or cold tears. Many times before, I spoke to him with the same cold and heartless words, not caring if he was hurt. What goes around comes around, and now it's my turn to suffer. In the end, I agreed to the divorce. After a period of recovery, Ryan looked in good shape. I heard that the director of Moonbeam thought highly of him and decided to give him the lead role in his latest film. This director was highly regarded in the industry, and with his support, Ryan would surely shine brightly in the entertainment world. He would walk the star-studded path that was always meant for him. I watched Ryan's figure gradually disappear, feeling increasingly empty inside. Suddenly, he turned around. "Goodbye, Lily." Then he left without looking back. I knew this goodbye was forever. Ryan no longer wanted to see me. As night fell and the stars twinkled, I finally understood that I once had true Moonbeam. He was brilliant, bright, and shone without embellishment. But unfortunately, I lost him.